Welcome to the Desire Over Doubt Show, coming to you from Savannah, Georgia, with your hosts, elite and international elite lifters, Nate Korpusic and Savage Cat.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Desire Over Doubt Show. I am Nate Korpusic, and with me as always,
Savage Cat.
And today we're talking about
giving a fuck
and
other stuff,
and those who don't give a fuck,
yeah,
and why you should give a fuck, I guess,
and why you shouldn't give a fuck,
and why you shouldn't give a fuck. So lots of fucks. We're gonna put a lot of fucks out there. This is not a kid-friendly episode. None of them are. But first, we're gonna start with some announcements. What's new in your world?
Well, you live with me, so you kind of know.
I'm just telling everybody. You tell it. It's a segue.
Oh, okay.
For other people.
What's new in my world?
I know what's new in your world.
I have, those of you who are watching this on YouTube can see this beautiful pole right here we put up in the gym.
I am now a stripper.
Nate is now a stripper. I'm just kidding. I'm
not making any money.
He's into pole fitness, which is different than stripping, for those of you who didn't know that.
Yeah.
So.
Although, I did work at a strip club, and those girls that were really good at pole, you can kind of see how, like, the pole fitness evolved, because it's very athletic.
Yeah.
It's hugely athletic. And, I just remember the girls at the club that I was working at would eat, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of calories a day in a shift, because they're working out so much, because it really is that much of a workout.
Especially when you're doing it for hours like that.
When you started taking the classes, I looked up, I like to learn about every little thing. So I started looking into it a little bit, and I thought, like, wow, this is a lot more than I expected. It's kind of like the old thoughts behind, like, cheerleading. Like, oh, they're just cheerleaders, but that's like a real sport. Like, it's legit.
Yeah, no kidding.
And
that's like one of the most intense sports that you could possibly do. It's on par with, like, Olympic gymnastics.
It really is. And I just think, like, pole fitness is another one. It's gaining steam.
Yeah.
It's gaining a lot of steam, which I think is pretty cool. Like, they got, like, nationals and worlds and stuff now.
Yeah.
I think it's actually pretty cool. It's a really good workout. I can't do it. I'm not built for it. But
I've been doing it for a few months, and now I'm back on the horse.
Back on the pole.
Back on the pole. So, yeah.
Back on the pole. What else is going on in your life? I feel like I haven't seen you in an hour.
Well, I just finished working out.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. We got a puppy.
We did get a puppy.
We got a puppy. Her name is Heist. You'll see lots of pictures, I'm sure, on our social media.
She's a Dutch Shepherd.
She's beautiful. She's 8 months old.
She just arrived today.
Today, early this morning. She came from California. So, hello to Heisty.
Tell the people about Heist.
Heist is a Dutch Shepherd from Fresno, California. She is one generation removed from Europe and is a trained bite and protection dog. However, she's lacking obedience, so we're going to put some obedience into her. And that's very obvious. She loves pancakes.
And gourmet sausages.
Gourmet sausages.
Which is really a hot dog.
Which is just hot dogs, but she thinks they're gourmet, so she likes those. She loves her new sister and brother. She has really already taken to Blondie and Zeno.
Yeah, except not Ranger.
Not yet. We're working on it. So, that's Heisty in a nutshell. She's a little thing right now. She's got some growing to do. But she's obviously got a lot of, she's very sweet.
Yes.
She's very delicate for a bite dog. Like, when you think of, like, a bite dog, I think of, like, well, I don't, but I think people think of, like, this, like, aggressive, mean thing. And Heisty is just, like, this sweetheart who, like, will eat very delicately out of your hand and, like, lick you and give you kisses, and she's just a sweetheart. So we're really excited about that. That's why we're talking about it. But welcome to the family, Heist. Some stuff happening on the nutrition site?
Yeah. We have 2 sponsored athletes who are going to the Arnold. They are 2 professional strong women. So that's really exciting. That's in 7 weeks. I think that's 7 weeks out from now.
March, yeah, about that.
So that's coming up really soon, and it's awesome to see them.
We might be
training
there.
hard. We might end up being able to be there.
So if you see us, come say hi. But yeah, I'm actually really excited about that. I'm proud of those girls, Beck Lork and Inez.
Yep.
Really, really proud of them. They're doing awesome things already. Beck was America's lightweight strongest woman.
Yep. Now she's a middleweight.
So I think it's they're doing great things. You're gonna hear about them for years to come, and we're happy to sponsor them
For sure.
for the Viking Strength Nutrition. So help us sponsor them. Go to vikingstrengthsups.com or vikingstrengthnutrition.com and purchase some amazing supplements. All the stuff you need, nothing you don't, of course. Veteran owned, third-party lab tested, so you know what you're getting is what you're getting. So anyways, that's my spiel for that.
That's right.
Let's get into it.
Let's talk about giving a fuck.
Go ahead.
So,
Please.
What inspired this topic was kind of thinking about how your circle changes over time and as we develop as people, and I don't want to say settle into a career path or a lifestyle, because I feel like it's not really ever settling. It's very like go with the lifestyle that we have, but that is what we chose for ourselves. So when that happens, and not just talking about us, this is people in general, you tend to lose people for any number of reasons. Like maybe you like to go out and party on the weekends or every night of the week, and you decide that something like fitness is more important to you than getting drunk.
You might notice your friendship circle change.
Your friendship circle changes, or maybe, you give more of a fuck about being able to spend money to travel for a competition, so you don't want to spend all your money on alcohol and partying, stuff like that. So that's kind of what inspired this topic.
I think, dovetailing that, I think we were just talking about this before we started filming, but surrounding yourself with people that are either on your level or you want to learn from, not that they're better than you in any way or that you're better than anybody else, but that they have a quality that you want to learn from. And it's important to surround yourself with those kind of people who are gonna help you grow as a person. I find that if you're around people that aren't ambitious and are just fine with what they've got, and that's cool. Some people, that's great. Like some people are perfectly happy grinding out the 9 to 5, and that is a very noble thing. I'm not knocking that at all.
You can also still do a 9 to 5 and have hobbies and passions and be successful.
Of course, but some people, their job is their passion. And, for us, it definitely is. But it's just a little bit different. But I mean, I'm not going to knock, like my grandfather loved his job, worked 9 to 5 for his whole life after he got out of the military. And he was a very happy man. His passion was his family at home. And, I think like there's something to take from that as well. But you surround yourself with the people that you want to aspire to be, I think is the way to go. Kind of like if you're the smartest person in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Yeah. I think is kind of what I'm getting at. And that means always like evaluate your surroundings. Make sure that your surroundings are helping you with your goals in your life rather than dragging you down. If you're somebody who's super ambitious and you want to get things done, I think it's bad to say, sometime I'm going to do this, or, this will happen eventually. The time is always now.
Or if I just speak it into existence for long enough, it's bound to happen. No.
Visualization is a huge part of the process, but action is... Without action, you don't have anything. If you don't actually
That's like saying I want to squat 500 pounds, and if I just visualize it enough, then I'll be able to do it by the end of the year, and being like, well, I guess I don't have to actually do any of the work.
Yeah, I mean, does that make sense?
No.
It's like visualizing dinner and expecting it to just appear out of the oven. Like, it doesn't work. There's no magic here. I mean, I think people think it is magic at some point. I don't know. Putting, like, when you say put stuff out, I'm going to put this out in the universe. Okay, but you actually have to do something. You have to put it out in the universe. Good, positive, energy, great. But you got to actually do something to make it happen. You can't just sit there and go, I put it out in the universe. It'll happen when it's meant to be. Bull fucking shit. That's not how it works. That's just not. Nothing in my life that I've obtained has been from just wishing it to fucking happen. And I think, we might be a little bit off topic, but it's important to touch on that. If you're ambitious and you want to grow, then you need to you need to actually put the effort in the time. You need to give a fuck.
Exactly, you need to give a fuck. So another thing that kind of inspired this topic that I want to talk about is, do you remember how it used to be fringe to kind of be like emo and like existential and like, oh, nothing matters. Oh, you know, I don't really care. Like, I don't care. So why am I going to try? And now it's not really fringe anymore. Like, there's just so many people with that mentality because of things like social media. They're so afraid that, you know, they're going to put something up on social media, or like their friends are going to see it and roast them, be like, oh, you like space? Well, that's lame. You know, oh, you spend all your time lifting weights? That's lame. So then people don't want to express their passion or delve deeper and spend more time on the stuff they give a fuck about because of fear of judgment or fear of losing friends.
And I think you're right. I mean, that was like, it seems to me, and maybe it still is there, I just don't see it as much, but that was like the cool thing. The cool thing was to hate everything, I guess.
I hate that.
Well, the cool thing is to not give a fuck about anything. And that just feels like a very immature attitude to me. Who cares what somebody's passionate about? Like, if it doesn't affect you and change your life, then what do you care what the person next to you does, like, or care, or does, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but what, they don't want to hang out with you anymore? They don't want to indulge your behavior?
So then change your circle.
Yeah.
You know, move on.
Exactly.
And that's part of what this is about, is like recognizing that.
Yeah.
And moving on. You don't need people like that around.
No, like if you have people in your circle and they're not supporting you in these things that you're passionate about, and we're not just talking about fitness, we're not just talking about powerlifting, but those are some of the most frequent ways that this seems to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, it'll be somebody wants to make a lifestyle change,
right, and
their circle is not supportive of that. Instead of being like, you know what, we could all stand to be healthier.
Of course.
You know, we could all stand to increase our quality of life. It's like, no, fuck you. You think you're better than us because you want to give a fuck about your health and being fit, you know?
It can actually, and the thing is sad is it happens a lot inside of a family unit too. Like, you actually can see it happen. Like, if you have, you know, parents that are unsupportive of your goals and dreams, then that can really affect you throughout your whole life, and it might turn you into a person who doesn't give a fuck, you know, because you're very impressionable when you're young. And if it's, you know, you can be pushed either direction so much. It's just, I don't care what you do, but definitely give it 100%, and until you don't like it anymore. And if you don't like it anymore, it's okay to change. And find the people around you and surround yourself with the people that are going to support you, with other people who give a fuck. They might not be people that give a shit about what you're doing necessarily, or like your field or your interest or your hobbies, but if they just have that energy of like being positive and supportive,
that means
fine.
They give a fuck about you.
They give a fuck about you, and that's important.
Yes.
That's hugely important. I mean, I've had to change my circle of friends many times over the years, and it shrinks a lot.
Yeah, it does.
It shrinks a lot, because a lot of people don't like to be told that they're not conducive or healthy for your friendship anymore, and that's fine, but it's important to recognize that. You don't need to stay friends with somebody for the sake of staying friends with them, you know, because it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. If it's not helping you and it's hurting you, it's toxic, and you just don't need it.
Totally agree with that. So, with that, you know, we're saying give a fuck
Mm-hmm.
about the stuff that you're passionate about and you want to spend your life doing. The other side of that is not giving a fuck,
Yes.
which I've talked before.
In a positive way.
In a positive way. I've talked before about the book by Mark Manson. A lot of y'all have probably heard of
I'll have to read it.
The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. So when I first started reading this book, I was like, I kind of wonder like what this guy's approach is going to be to this. And it's really interesting. It's kind of, it's the opposite of giving a fuck. Not really.
It's
he talks about not giving a fuck about anything that is not conducive to you leading the life that you want to live, which in turn is you giving all your fucks to the stuff that you are passionate about and that you do care about. So within not giving a fuck, you are giving your fucks. It's about being selective with where your fucks are given.
Does that kind of like, and this is a question, opinion obviously, but does that kind of feel like also like we were talking about let it go to grow the other day when we were discussing that? Like if something in your life is holding you back from growing, let it go.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't give a fuck about it anymore.
Don't give a fuck about it. I mean, that happened to us.
Yeah.
It happened to us. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even, honestly, like we were talking about yesterday, I don't even think of the gym unless it comes up in conversation.
That's what they were talking about, Trevor and Riley on the Strength and Success show a week or so ago. The title was Let Go to Grow, and I was like, wow, that's kind of on par with giving a fuck.
Yeah,
You select what you want to give more of your fucks to, and you have to let go of other stuff. You have to say, I'm not going to give a fuck about this stuff anymore. So that's what we did. You're right. And choosing to close our gym, we said, these are the things we give a fuck about: providing quality service to our athletes and our team, our own training, spending more time with our family, and our own health. So
and our
we
other businesses.
Let go of that.
Yeah.
And
I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think people see it as a failure. And getting rid of the gym is in no way a failure. It was a decision. Financially, it didn't, it wasn't a financial decision. It was, like you said, it was time to let go.
Yeah.
So you can grow. And I love that phrase now. I'm going to get that tattooed on me somewhere, because I think that is a prime example of that. And yeah, it took us really having to go to 30,000 feet and look down and go, wow, this is what we have to do. Because we were so grounded in the gym every single day that we couldn't see in front of our own noses. And when that happens, you get paralysis. And you need to, if you want to keep growing, we want to keep growing. There's nothing stopping us. Then it's very important to let it go. And that's what we did with our gym. We let it go so that we could grow. I think other people who have owned gyms in the past probably understand a lot of the problems that there are.
Totally. I mean, when you there's only so much of you to go around, and we do all have the same 24 hours in a day, and I'm a firm believer in using time efficiently and consistently, having a laid out schedule to be able to maximize the usage of your time. And when you're having to be in one place all day, every day, and you're, you can't be in front of a computer doing graphic design or emails or even programming or anything like that, the stuff that's really important for actual growth, it gets put on the back burner. And those are the things that you realize, we realized that we needed to actually be able to give more fucks about. I think that we did give so many fucks about that stuff, but they were not full fucks. Because we couldn't.
And you're right. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day, but when you occupy those hours with the wrong thing, then, like you're saying, that's where the problem was. The stuff that we put on the back burner actually needed more flame than the gym. And we were unable to give that to it. I mean, it was so evident once we left the gym and started working on the other stuff, how much it grew and how quickly it grew.
Yeah.
It was ready to go.
Yeah.
So that was important, to give a fuck about something else.
Yeah.
And stop giving a fuck about that.
I give so little fucks about that. I don't even think about it.
I really don't, unless it's put in front of me. I thought it would be sadder, but it really isn't.
No.
And again, those of you that have owned gyms probably understand.
Yeah. There were a lot of great things about it, but
there are. It's a business of passion, and it's funny because every gym owner that I've talked to has the same same issues. So,
Yep.
But hey, so that's a good example, I think.
It is, and that's also an example of giving a fuck about your career. So there's things that, like, you can apply this to any aspect of your life. You know, if you're doing something for 40, 50, 60 hours a week and it's your career, you need to give a fuck about it. Like, I don't care what it is. Like, are you an accountant? That seems pretty boring to me, but you must be somewhat passionate about spreadsheets and numbers to go and study that in school and want to do that for, you know,
people do love that life.
Hours and hours a week. It doesn't really matter what the career choice is. The stuff that you're spending your downtime doing, you should give a fuck about it. You can even give a fuck about something small and minute, like spending time watching Netflix a little bit to unwind every day. Like,
you have to set those boundaries.
You do.
You have to absolutely set
those boundaries. And that's you saying, you know what? I'm going to give a fuck about reducing my cortisol levels and taking time to myself to actually fucking shut my brain off and relax.
It's very important, especially there's a lot more of the workforce that are working from home now, you know, in the COVID era. And I think a lot of people have had to learn to create those boundaries because it's been very difficult for people to create those boundaries when they're working from home.
Yeah.
I love working from home now. I thought it was going to be an issue that I would always need to be like in an office somewhere or something. But I'm actually very productive from there. And I think a lot of it is because, you know, I missed my family when we were doing the gym and stuff. And other things in my life. You know, I was in the Army. I was gone a lot. So, I mean, I missed my family. I missed my animals. And now that they're right there, I feel a lot more motivated. And I can kind of see what I'm working for all the time. And I like it.
I like that. Seeing what you're working for all the time is really nice.
It is. And you can just go to the kitchen and grab something to eat.
Yeah, which is really nice. There you go, giving a fuck about something else. Consistency with your nutrition.
That's important. You know, it is okay to break from your nutrition every now and then, and it's actually important to. But it's one of those things, man, like anything else. It doesn't work unless you're consistent with it. It just doesn't. You know, your workout routine, you know, same thing. Like we said, you have to be consistent with it. Same thing with nutrition. You can't just eat healthy 2 meals and then destroy your last meal. You know, that's a whole other, I think there's a whole other video in there somewhere, but that we can break down. We've had a lot more nutrition clients come up lately. So I think that's good. I'd like to see people get more involved with with what they're putting in their body. I think it's a good thing. I'd like to see even more people, but there's a lot of work there. There's a lot of work there in today's society to offset a lot of myths and a lot of problems.
Definitely.
And generating that give a fuck attitude for yourself. Just for yourself.
Absolutely.
But
I mean,
I think we pretty much covered that.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
Well, not a whole lot.
No?
You know?
Yeah. One of those days, it's a Wednesday. It's been cold and hot. It looks like we might get some snow on Saturday, so this is also a weather report. But yeah, so that's giving a fuck, guys. Again, as always, if you guys want to see anything specific or want us to dive into any specific topic, please shoot us a message. Hit us up in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, what should you do?
Like and subscribe.
Smash the like button.
Smash the like button.
And hit that bell.
That's right.
Hit that bell so that way you get updated. We have stuff every week coming out, guys. We have a new episode of the Viking Inside coming out later this week or early next week. Those ones take a little bit longer to produce because they are scripted and edited more, and so those take a little bit longer to produce. But that'll be out. I believe that's another top 5 or top 10 that we're doing. We have other people that help us with our scripts and stuff, so we'll dive into that a little bit more.
Yep.
Again, please visit our websites. Viking Strength Sups, VikingStrengthsNutrition.com, VikingPowerlifting.com. We are taking on virtual coaching clients as well right now, and nutrition clients as well. So feel free to hit us up through one of our sites there. And, you know, guys, make sure you wake up every day giving a fuck.
Yep.
All right?
Absolutely.
And we will see you in the gym.